Before we get started on today's video, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for my last video reaching over 1,000 views. I know that's not like the biggest out there, but I'll definitely take it. I thought it was amazing, especially since the last time I reached that was back in my Let's Play days. But I still appreciate the hell out of you guys for doing all that. Taking time out of your day to watch my videos. It makes me feel good to know that at least you're giving me a shot, I guess. But one of the topics I want to talk about for today, or the topic I'm going to talk about today, excuse me, is the emulators, because that was mentioned in my last video when someone commented mentioning how it is ridiculous to pay $99 for a game. And I honestly agree, because yes, Pokemon is a very popular name. So because of that, it's going to get a lot more money. And so because of that, a lot of the Pokemon games from the past are very, very expensive. And they are also good games. So it really depends on that as well. You can have Pokemon be like an amazing franchise that makes so much money because of how much people want to go for these. And then you'll have really bad games like Superman 64 that only holds value because of the Superman name. And that's about it. But yes, if there's a situation where you have to use emulation, I highly do recommend it. It's basically to help you out with situations like maybe better graphics. You can get a save state. You can fast forward and rewind. More options for controls. A lot of fun stuff about it too. Especially like the big one is people that mod these games. People that mod these games to make them better or to make like different versions. So if there is a problem with the original game, you can enjoy the game for what it was supposed to be. Yeah. But I also want to mention like there are some issues as well. Maybe not all games work on it well. Need a proper controller to properly play the game. I know there's keyboards, but sometimes you need the actual controls. Modern features can ruin the experience, definitely. And especially with Nintendo right now, really tracking down emulation, yet they're using ROMs and emulators for their Switch Online is baffling. If I'm like shaking and like you see like my camera shaking, I apologize. I'm just realizing that. But yeah, so that's really a thing that Nintendo likes to do. They like to go after the ROMs and emulators because they think they should be the only ones getting any profit from any games that were made for them or made by them. And my perfect response to that is then bring those games to the current system. You have the technology, clearly, to bring them back. So they don't have to cost $100 or $200. Hell, there's a Flintstones game. Last I checked, and this was years ago, it was going for like $1,200. It's ridiculous. Because we like to play games, and we like to play our fun titles that we played as kids, and that's all we want. We just want to relive that experience. It's just that Nintendo's not making them to where it's hard to play. And now, to their credit, there are times where they do make remasters and I guess certain instances where they'll bring back the classic games, just maybe modify it up a bit to play. But what if players just wanted the original game on a modern system? It can happen. I mentioned it a while ago about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and how, just appreciate the fact that it's there. And while I still go for that, I also understand that you have the technology to do it. So why not do it? I'm not sure because I don't work for Nintendo. I don't work for Game Freak. I don't work for any gaming company, so I can't really say offhand like why they're not doing it. But you'd think now with the technology that's there, you would understand why there are people that are frustrated, and understandably so. Like I even said before, like it's okay to be frustrated. Just know that at least there's something. But like I said, that can only go so far at one point. It's just something that I've seen and I keep hearing about it over and over again. And it's also kind of funny is I'm not like saying, oh, do this or I'm boycotting, but we've seen from Nintendo companies on like social media, for example, they'll drop like a hint tease or they'll say like, oh, on this day, all these years ago, we had this game that came out and it never got a remake. So we're like coming to Switch, coming to next gen console. You know, we're trying to think of like what's coming for this. Like, why are you mentioning this? Is there going to be something like this coming out for the Switch? And nothing has happened yet. So we're like, what the hell? I guess it's some type of business thing where like they're trying to get people back from the past to check out some new stuff because they're showing things from the past. But then again, to me that would be like, okay, so you're teasing something. You're teasing, like for Pokemon, for example, they were showing up, hey, like on this day 20 years ago, we had Pokemon Coliseum. And I'm like, so you're bringing it to Switch, right? And then there was mention about, hey, on this day, maybe 19 years ago, XD was out, XD Gala Darkness. I'm like, coming to Switch? Or are we getting a third iteration of that game on the Switch or the next gen console? You know, like what's going on here? So, like I said, I still say, you know, just appreciate what's there. But I also understand why people get frustrated, and that's why also people go to emulators because you can do a lot more with emulators as well as even just playing the classic game as it is because you can't afford the other game or you don't have the console needed to play the game or you just want better graphics. You know, it could be anything. But it's just upsetting that Nintendo will try to hunt people down for that because they're the only ones. Sony, Microsoft, they don't care because at the end of the day, it's an old game. They're not making any money off of it unless they make like remixes or sequels or other things related to have the name of the title. But that copy of the game, let's say Jak and Daxter, for example, because Jak and Daxter's been a long time, was made by Sony a long time ago. They haven't done anything about it lately. If I wanted to go use an emulator and emulate or use that to play Jak and Daxter in here, Sony's not going to come after my ass. If I did that with Halo, Microsoft's not going to be at my door or anything like that. It seems like whenever Nintendo does it, they're at the door. So it's best to calm down and either make the games playable. Like you did that with the 3DS with the Game Boy titles, the ones that I know on the top of my head. I know there's others that are obvious too, but there's like Pokemon, Red, Blue, Yellow one year, and I think like next year was Gold, Silver, Crystal. So you can do it. You can do it. It's just either you're lazy or something else is going on, but for whatever reason they don't want to do it. But I just wanted to talk about that because I think it's definitely a reason why people are still using emulators. And that's really about it. You guys have a good one.